In June 2023, Italy witnessed the most disastrous situation. Within 48 hours, over 200,000 people fell into a state of delirium and mental chaos, flooding hospitals with cases that ranged from severe hallucinations to life-threatening seizures. What appeared to be a mass outbreak of a viral epidemic was soon traced back to an insidious source: digital drugs. This wasn't an ordinary street-level drug operation. Instead, millions of unsuspecting users had downloaded what seemed like harmless software from popular app stores. In reality, these were coded frequencies, designed to stimulate the brain in ways akin to hard narcotics. A nation was damaged without a single chemical substance being ingested, just sound waves and digital pulses. The damage was irreversible for many, causing long-term cognitive impairment and a massive public health crisis. This is the terrifying new face of drug trafficking in the 21st century. No needles, no pills, no powders. The drug of the future is code. Welcome to the brutal world of digital drug trafficking. When we think of drug trafficking, the first images that come to mind are of border smuggling, cartels, and underground operations involving large quantities of narcotics like cocaine, heroin, or methamphetamine. However, the landscape of illicit substances has undergone a seismic shift. Drugs are no longer constrained by physical borders. They are now seamlessly integrated into the digital fabric of society, waiting to be downloaded, streamed, or transferred via encrypted channels. Digital drug trafficking, a term that seems plucked from a dystopian novel, is not science fiction. It's the cold, hard reality of how technology has merged with human vulnerability to exploit the very thing that powers us, our minds. These are the binaural beats, isochronic tones, or electromagnetic frequencies designed to manipulate brainwave patterns in ways that mimic the effects of traditional drugs. With a market estimated to be worth over $6 billion globally by 2025, digital drugs are rapidly becoming a terrifying weapon of control. While physical drugs take time to grow, produce, and distribute, these digital substances can be generated, replicated, and sold in infinite quantities. And unlike traditional drug trafficking, this new digital menace requires no smuggling across borders. All it needs is a screen and an internet connection. But what is even more horrifying is the way these digital narcotics are marketed, through apps, websites, and social media, often targeting vulnerable individuals like teenagers and people suffering from mental health issues. The victims are plentiful, and the industry is growing like wildfire, leaving regulatory bodies scrambling to catch up. The brutal truth? There's no physical war on drugs anymore. This war is happening in cyberspace. Digital drug trafficking refers to the illegal trade of audio or visual content designed to manipulate brainwaves, creating effects similar to psychoactive substances. These drugs are often sound frequencies that alter your brain's activity when listened to through headphones or speakers. With technology advancing rapidly, there is a growing array of the electronic psychoactives, software designed to simulate anything from a mild state of relaxation to extreme euphoria or hallucinations. Most of these drugs are delivered through platforms that appear innocuous. But with the rise of the dark web and the peer-to-peer networks, the sale and distribution of digital drugs are becoming harder to trace, making it nearly impossible for law enforcement to combat this invisible wave of narcotic exploitation. The digital drug market is not just a fringe element of the dark web. It's becoming an expansive global marketplace fueled by cryptocurrency payments and anonymous transactions. Estimates suggest that by 2025, the digital drug market could reach a staggering $6 billion. And that's likely a conservative figure. One of the reasons this market is growing so quickly is its ease of access. Anyone with a smartphone or computer can download these digital drugs. Sites like iDozer claim to sell legally, but the danger is real. A significant portion of these downloads comes with hidden codes, viruses, and backdoors into user systems, allowing traffickers to gain access to personal information, banking data, and even devices to manipulate and exploit them further. South America may have birthed the world's most notorious drug cartels. Today's digital drug rings are decentralized, scattered across servers worldwide, each year and operating in near total anonymity. A teen in London can access a sound frequency generated in Brazil while a buyer in Japan can find a dark web vendor from Russia offering the latest high in digital format. There are no borders, there are no boundaries. The allure of digital drugs lies in their accessibility, but the consequences are staggering. Unlike traditional drugs, digital drugs are not physically consumed. They bypass traditional bodily defenses and directly alter brainwave patterns. Users have reported a range of effects from euphoria and relaxation to terrifying hallucinations and severe panic attacks. But the most concerning part? The long-term effects on the human brain are still unknown. Neurologists have expressed concern that prolonged exposure to these frequencies could lead to irreversible cognitive damage, including severe anxiety disorders, chronic migraines, or even mental illnesses like schizophrenia. What may start as a harmless experiment with a binaural beat can quickly spiral into addiction, causing psychological dependence just as dangerous as any chemical substance. There have been multiple reports of suicides and violent behavior linked to digital drug consumption. In 2022, a 17-year-old in California leaped off a bridge, believing he was invincible after downloading a series of audio files meant to mimic LSD-like hallucinations. His case is far from unique. As more incidents like these occur, the digital drug epidemic becomes harder to ignore. Traditional drug trafficking is a logistical nightmare for law enforcement agencies. Digital drug trafficking presents an even more complex challenge. How do you fight something that doesn't physically exist? How do you shut down a marketplace that can be moved from one server to another with the click of a button? In 2023, Europol launched Operation Ether, a massive crackdown on the illegal sale of digital drugs on the dark web. However, despite arrests and server shutdowns, these operations often act as a temporary stopgap. Within days, new vendors appear with rebranded platforms and even more sophisticated encryption methods. The anonymity of cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin only fuels the fire, making transactions virtually untraceable. The U.S. Department of Homeland Security has reported an increase of 350% in digital drug-related cases between 2020 and 2023. However, they admit that current laws are woefully outdated, unable to keep pace with the rapidly evolving digital world. While governments scramble to formulate a legal framework for addressing these issues, the digital drug industry continues to flourish in the shadows. The most unsettling aspect of digital drug trafficking is that we're only scratching the surface of its potential. As technology advances, so too does the sophistication and potency of these digital narcotics. AI-driven systems, brain-computer interfaces, BCI, and virtual reality are pushing the boundaries of what digital drugs can achieve. The next decade could see these substances evolve from relatively crude binaural beats into highly immersive experiences capable of hijacking our minds in ways that blur the line between reality and illusion. Artificial intelligence is not just a tool for creating more potent digital drugs, it's about to become the mastermind behind their design. As AI systems become more intelligent, they can learn from user data, analyzing how different frequencies and waveforms affect individual brains. In the near future, AI could create customized digital drugs tailored specifically to a person's brain patterns, mental health state, or even emotional triggers. For example, AI could analyze your cognitive vulnerabilities, whether you're prone to anxiety, stress, or depression, and create a frequency-based digital drug designed to exploit those weaknesses. Imagine a digital dose designed to heighten anxiety or amplify feelings of euphoria, inducing extreme highs or lows. The power of AI lies in its ability to learn and optimize these patterns, meaning digital drugs could evolve in real time, becoming more addictive and dangerous with each interaction. The real game changer, however, lies in the advancement of the brain-computer interfaces, BCI. Currently, companies like Neuralink are working on technologies that will allow computers to directly interact with the brain, bypassing traditional input methods like keyboards, screens, or audio devices. In theory, BCIs could help treat conditions like paralysis, enabling people to control devices simply by thinking. But in the wrong hands, this technology could be weaponized to create the most powerful digital drugs imaginable. Imagine a world where you can download a digital drug that mimics the sensation of falling in love, reliving your most euphoric memories, or even experiencing intense pleasure beyond anything you felt before. The terrifying part? This technology could also amplify negative experiences, from extreme fear to physical pain, which can be just as addictive to certain users. BCIs could redefine the digital drug landscape, turning it into a fully immersive, all-consuming experience that becomes harder to escape the deeper you dive in. Virtual reality, VR, is already on the rise, with platforms like Oculus and PlayStation VR, allowing users to escape into richly detailed virtual worlds. While VR today is primarily used for gaming, entertainment, and training simulations, it's not hard to imagine a future where VR becomes the delivery mechanism for digital drugs. Instead of downloading a binaural beat or tone to alter your brainwaves, users could immerse themselves in a digital environment specifically designed to alter their mental state. More alarmingly, these VR-based digital drugs could evolve into social experiences. Imagine a group of people, each wearing VR headsets, collectively experiencing the same digital high. These communal experiences could foster digital drug dens, where users gather to share their latest mind-bending trips in virtual reality, disconnected from the real world for prolonged periods of time. This blending of social VR with digital drugs opens the door to new forms of addiction, where people become more dependent on their virtual experiences than their real lives. The dark web has long been the home of illegal activities, but with the rise of blockchain technology and cryptocurrencies, the digital drug trade has become even harder to trace. Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other cryptocurrencies offer near anonymity for transactions, making it nearly impossible for law enforcement to track the flow of money tied to these digital substances. Blockchain technology, originally designed for transparency, can now be exploited to create the decentralized markets where digital drugs are traded freely without fear of regulation or legal intervention. These black market platforms are evolving to incorporate smart contracts and AI-driven automation that allow digital drug traffickers to scale their operations globally. Instead of a centralized drug cartel, we are now looking at decentralized networks of developers, traffickers, and users spread across the globe, each working in anonymity and protected by encrypted networks. Cryptocurrencies and blockchain technology provide the perfect cover for a new breed of the cyber cartels, ones that never need to physically meet, trade drugs, or transport illegal substances across borders. The world of digital drug trafficking is no longer a distant threat. It's already here and growing at an alarming rate. Invisible lines of code, frequencies, and pulses are being downloaded onto devices across the globe, posing a chilling danger to mental health, personal privacy, and societal stability. As governments and law enforcement remain years behind, the battle has shifted from the streets to cyberspace, where AI, VR, and brain-computer interfaces are the new weapons of mass manipulation. Millions are at risk of being trapped in a digital underworld, unable to escape the addictive loop of virtual highs. This isn't just the future of drug trafficking, it's the future of human control. For more insights into the dark side of technology, subscribe to our channel. From 3D printed weapons to digital narcotics, we're uncovering the chilling ways tech is reshaping our world. Stay informed, stay vigilant, and prepare, because the future is already here, and it's darker than you think.